This is lesson 912. We're going to take a look at sum and difference identities. So we're going to use sum and difference identities to evaluate with values on the unit circle, and then use sum and difference identities to evaluate values that are not on the unit circle. So these right here are our sum and difference identities. There's 3 of them that each have its own plus or minus. So I mean, if you consider plus or minus 2 separate identities, then it's actually 6, but it's nice to memorize them when they're combined together. Now, the alpha and the beta, those are just angles, and they're either added or subtracted inside cosine. And so, you know, cosine of alpha plus beta is cosine alpha, cosine beta. The sign switches. So if it was plus, then it's minus. If it was minus, then it's plus. You either do the top row or the bottom row. And then sine alpha, sine beta. Sine, it stays the same. And then with tangent, the top is the same, the bottom it switches. So let's kind of look at these. So the sine is 75 degrees. Now I know 75 degrees isn't on the unit circle, but what if I can break up 75 degrees to values that are on the unit circle? So I could break 75 degrees into 45 plus 30. I know 45 degrees is on the unit circle. I know 30 degrees is on the unit circle. And so I can use my sum and difference identity. So this would be my alpha, this would be my beta, and so this would be sine alpha, cosine beta, the sign stays the same, and then sine beta, cosine alpha. Now I know I switched, but it's the same thing, right? 2 times 3 is the same as 3 times 2. Then we just examine, okay, on the unit circle, what is the sine of 45 degrees? That's radical 2 over 2. What is the cosine of 30 degrees? That's radical 3 over 2. And then the sine of 30 is going to be 1/2, and the cosine of 45 is root 2 over 2. I can multiply these together. Root 2 times root 3 is root 6. 1 times root 2 is root 2. And then 2 times 2 is 4. And so I get root 6 plus root 2 all over 4. And that's my answer. For cosine, now 15 is not on the unit circle, but I can break this up into 45 minus 30. So this will then be cosine alpha, cosine beta. Now the sign switches, so now that's plus, and then sine alpha, sine beta, because this is my alpha, this is my beta. Cosine of 45 is root 2 over 2. Cosine of 30 is root 3 over 2. Sine of 45 degrees is root 2 over 2. Sine of 30 is 1/2. So you get root 6 plus root 2 all over 4, because 2 times 2 is 4. Now tangent, so I can break this up into, now I'm thinking values in the unit circle, 30, 45, 6. Oh, there we go. So tangent of 45 plus 60. This is my alpha, this is my beta. Now other common question is, what if I did 60 plus 45? Is that going to change my answer? And the answer is no. It'll be the same thing. So you can do it whatever order, as long as they add or subtract to the value that's correct, you can use that. So for example, 45 minus 60 is not the same as 60 minus 45, right? So you just have to be careful of that. So here we go. Tangent of 45 plus 60. So that's going to be tangent alpha, the sign stays the same, tangent beta, over 1 minus tangent alpha, tangent beta. So the tangent of 45 degrees is radical 2 over 2. Tangent of, I did the sine, but I didn't do the cosine. Sine over cosine, so that's 1. And then the tangent of 60 degrees is going to be root 3. Now, at 60 degrees, it's 1/2 root 3 over 2. Sine over cosine. Right, it's root 3. And on the bottom, I get 1 minus, this tangent of 45 is 1 times And then the tangent is 60 degrees, which is going to be root 3. So I get 1 plus root 3 over 1 minus root 3. Now, technically, this is correct. That's a good answer. If we don't want the radical in the denominator, then you multiply by the conjugate. So on the top, I'm going to get 1 plus radical 3 squared. And then on the bottom, if I multiply that out, 1 times 1 plus root 3 minus root 3, and then minus 3. So then 1 plus root 3 squared over negative 2. So what did we learn today? We talked about the sum and difference identities and how to use them to evaluate trig values. Now my sum and difference identities, these are them right here. We need to have them memorized because they're going to be very important. This does conclude our lesson. If you have any other questions, please leave them in the comments.